Good evening and welcome everybody to week 3 of the Post Esports Masters live on Twitch as well as on PostTV channel 98 in case you'd like to watch us on TV, because it just is way cooler to do that, of course. For tonight, once again, I am back with none other than Frstana. Welcome, Frstana.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for being back in the business with me, and I'm really hyped for today's match day. So it's cool to be here. It's cool to be your co-caster for the day.
It's always a pleasure to have you on my side and to be back here on stream as well. I wasn't there last Thursday. I won't be there this Thursday either, unfortunately. However, we have the wonderful Milky who did jump in for me and who I'm sure did a wonderful job as well.
Yeah, definitely. I love Milky. He does some great casts. So, but of course nobody can like replace you in such a stream. So I'm really glad that you are back here.
Well, I'm glad to be back as well for tonight, because tonight we have quite a few interesting matches ahead of us. We'll have 3, but maybe in order to start to get a feel of what it's all about, let's take a look at the leaderboards, because week 3 means we are starting to head towards the end of the split, and that means that half of the games have been played. Royal Family spearheading the leaderboards, still unbeaten, 5-0, having a massive excellent run so far, followed up by VACE Esports, who've had it rough at the start but have definitely picked up the pace, coming in second for now with 4 wins. Then separating them by 2 wins, we have Snooze Esports, who they seem to still be kind of sloughing around here in the split.
Yeah, definitely, but at least they won their game last week, so they came back. And then, of course, wrapping up the other teams, that's Redline, Stabil, and HitmonLi. So today we'll see like one of the top teams against one of the weaker ones, but still HitmonLi won their first game last week, so maybe they can bounce back, of course, and maybe climb up the ladder now in the second round of this of this round robin, of course. So we finished the first round, and now the matches occur again. Each team plays against each team, so maybe HitmonLi can now gobble up some wins to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely, because as you said, this is all about the playoffs for those top running teams. The 3 top teams will be invited to play the playoffs in Luxembourg for a live event later this year. Spot 4 will just be, they exist, and that's fine, because the 2 lower spots, the 5th and 6th spot, will have to play relegation against the 2 top teams of Division 2. And talking about Division 2, why don't we take a look at how things are looking over there with their leaderboards? Rift Riders also unbeaten, just like Royal Family, with 5 games in their pocket, followed up by the Epic Scuttle Bros going 4-2, and Union des Ombres also going 4-1. Of course, games here are played team set their game days, so it's not set like it is for Division 1, which means that some teams might play more games at the start of the week, some will have to play them later in the week, which is why there is this discrepancy.
Yeah, and the Flaggers are looking good, looking strong. They did not get beaten already, so they could be a scary opponent to fight in the relegation. So who knows which team is playing against them, but Rift Riders definitely wants into Division 1. Yeah,
and they are still quite going strong. If you would like to follow Division 2 more or less live, we have Nocturnal doing broadcasts of Division 2. They're trying to get as many games as they can. Of course, it's not always possible, especially with the schedules being done whenever teams would like. If you'd like to watch them, go follow them on Twitch, or you can check out in the Discord. They are always posting whenever they are going live for those games, so definitely check that out if you'd like. Now, Prashtana, what do we have in store for today?
That's a really good question.
It is a good question. Maybe we can take a look at the schedule of tonight in order to have an idea of what we'll be seeing today. As mentioned, 3 games that are planned tonight, starting off with HitmonLi versus VACE Esports. Then we'll have Royal Family, number 1 currently here in the Division 1, going up against Red Lions, and we'll end up with Stabil versus Snooze Esports.
Yeah, and I think especially Stabil versus Snooze, it's such a duel on ice height. So is ice height a term? It's a German term. I don't know. Anyway, because both teams are sitting there with 2 and 3, right? So they are pretty evenly matched, you could say. And with that, that could be maybe a deciding match actually, because they both are sitting at the 3rd place, of course. And if either team now wins today, then they might kick off the opponent team to not play playoffs. So it's really maybe the most important game actually between those two.
Yeah, definitely, because things are starting to heat up. We had it in the second round of this round robin, as mentioned earlier. It's all or nothing now, because you've encountered each team once, and this means you were able to test the waters, maybe, if that's what you'd like. Now, the second encounter with them, you can adapt maybe to their playstyle. You've had a feeling firsthand of how they play, so it's now the moment to adapt, to maybe take a win when the first time you lost, and grab those points in order to climb up the ladder. You've mentioned it, the Snooze and Stabil, a very important matchup. I think it would also be a very interesting matchup, seeing how close they are in the leaderboards. Talking about Stabil, we have something about them in store just for you, namely the interview video of Stabil. So we have an interview video every week, and maybe we can take a look at that just now.
They should still watch out for our team, and they should be prepared.
Well, I'm excited to be part of this, and I hope we get to the stage where we play on the stage and meet very good teams. Hello, I'm Joe, I'm 22, coming from the north of Luxembourg, from Winsela, and I'm mid laner for Team STBL.
I'm Thomas Marcus, coming from Beringen. I'm 22 years old and I am jungle for Team STBL.
I am Ricardo Oliveira Fernandez, I'm from Gilsdorf, and I'm the substitute and all-rounder from STBL.
So a friend of ours who already played once with another team proposed to play as our friend group, and as we have a relatively big friend group who plays League of Legends, we sat together and we said, yeah, let's do it, why not try it when we play in our free time. We started with 3 wins. The first loss was against the best team, I think, Snooze Esports. We were pretty good. And the second ones were the second place, the Pirate Bay. So I think for the first time playing as a team, was very good. I wouldn't say afraid, because it's always a nice challenge to have someone being better than you to look up to and to have a great fight against them, maybe on the stage.
In my opinion, I definitely have to go for our team. And from our team, I would... it's kind of difficult, either Slakers or I would even say Jo.
Oh.
No, you think Rampage, but I think you. Slakers is a very competent jungler, notice it immediately. He has very good shot calling and also has very good fundamentals of the game. With Jo, his ability to adapt to pretty much any situation is what makes him very special and very threatening in our team.
Since we have 2 players from Germany we didn't know for a long time, we just started playing flex queue and had some scrims against other teams, also from Luxembourg, but there wasn't a big preparation for the game. Maybe invest into next year to compete again, get the organization growing bigger, and maybe go to vacation.
When I know that I got completely outclassed by someone else because of my own fault, that I didn't practice enough or that I didn't prepare well enough.
Now for me personally, it's losing games that are definitely winnable, or like very long games, like 70, 80 minutes, and then you lose, just feels like a time waste. Well, I'm a very passionate volleyball player. If I had to choose between league and volleyball, I would definitely go for volleyball. Also, it's the same thing as in league, it's a team game. You have to rely on your teammates, you have to be a strong force, work together to achieve your goals.
There you have it. Stabil, dear spectators, one of the mainly Luxembourgish teams that we have here, who are definitely still in the run for playoffs, as you've mentioned just before, and well, ready to square off with Snooze later today in order to determine whom of them might be a better contender for playoffs. I think we have quite a bit of time left until game 1, Prishtana. And
Okay, yeah.
you know how as a kid you might have gone to school and you sat there and you were like, it's gonna be a normal fun day, and then your teacher's like, bam, no, you have a surprise quiz now. Well, I'm gonna do just that with you tonight.
Oh no.
I prepared
quiz.
I prepared 3 questions
Okay.
about the Post Esports Masters for you to answer.
Alright, okay.
A bit of Post Esports Masters lore to be dumped right now to the viewers,
no.
and we'll see if you're as good on the subject as I am, because I definitely knew all the answers and I didn't look any up. Question number 1: which team won the Post Esports Masters in 2020? League of Legends competition, of course.
Yeah, I believe it was the Brotherhood of the Red Lion in a really cool matchup against Outplay Esports, and they were the great underdogs, and in the end they just won it, and yeah, that was a pretty awesome game actually against the all-time favorite Luxembourgish mid laner Ginge and Daikara, and I believe Valerian was there as well, and all the other names. I think Rakuzi and Kinetic as their opponents in the Brotherhood and stuff. So what a banger series, what a banger matchup. And in the end, the Brotherhood actually won it.
Good answer, but it's wrong. Because in 2020, it wasn't called the Post Esports Masters, it was called the Post Esports League. And I just...
Actually, yeah.
I knew it was gonna work. It's a terrible question to ask. I'm a horrible person, I know. Sorry about that.
And then there was like 2021, I think it was the Invitational, right?
The finals were called that.
Yeah.
Indeed, we still had 2021 under the Post Esports. At that point, was called Post Esports Masters. I was going to ask who won in 2022, but it indeed wasn't the Post Esports Masters at that time, because Riot was very kind to us, and they were like, Luxembourg exists, and then we had something very special. Do you know maybe the name of that competition?
I think it was the Luxembourg Tour or something. It was like there was 3 tours: Luxembourg Tour, Dutch Tour, and Belgium Tour, and then the best team from the Luxembourg Tour, and then the top 2 or something from the other tours went into a little bracket and battled each other to get into relegation for Division 1 or something. Or maybe Division 2. But I don't believe that there was a Division 2. But yeah.
Absolutely.
And I know that our big snooze boys, Rifsloss, was of course winner of the Luxembourg Tour. And in the end, sadly, couldn't really compete with the other teams in like those playoffs. But still, this Luxembourg Tour actually was really special.
Yes, it is. The tour was called Tour Masters. That was this sort of bracket where they competed against the others. Indeed, they did not have a wonderful time there, but it was the Snooze Esports, back then still called Rifsloffs, which won both splits, spring and summer. And something that's very interesting here that I want to note out. So during the split, the spring split, Rifsloffs did have Ginge within their roster, for example. He played along with other players that he knew from the from a more international sphere, so to say. Notably, Cybernox, who was from Benelux, other players from all around. Second in that split was Reunited Gaming, called Reunited, because it's a bunch of friends which reunited in order to play together, and we know them really well because it's essentially the current Snooze Esports rosters with Kinetic, Raj, Rakuzi, and Yatun. Tim Shady was in there. He, of course, is not playing for them this split, but names that we know really well. And in the summer, there was a bit of a mashup, so to say, because Riftsloths changed their roster, and they had Kinetic, they had Raich, they had Team Shady, and now you might think, wait, what's up with Rakuzi, for example? He played for another team called First FF, which got second in that summer split. So we've had a bit of a mix of those famous Luxembourgish players that played in the Luxembourg tour, of course. Now I have a third question, which is not League of Legends focused, but POS Esports Masters focused, of course. And I'm not sure you have the answer for that one, but it's a really fun fact. So we have multiple games, of course, at the POS Esports Masters. This season we have League of Legends that came back. We introduced Valorant.
And Rocket League.
Exactly, Rocket League, which is staying from past seasons. And I was wondering if you knew when Rocket League was introduced to POS Esports Masters.
I don't think that it was 2020, because I believe 2020 we had FIFA, and was it a handy game? Was it Clash Royale? I don't know.
Yeah.
And if so, I believe maybe 2021 Rocket League came in. Probably still with FIFA or with Clash Royale. I think it was Clash Royale actually. But yeah, so I believe they got Rocket League got into POS Esports in 2021.
Well, it is right indeed, although maybe on a different form than what you'd expect, because 2021, the main season games were League of Legends, Clash Royale, and FIFA still, and it was a Rocket League one-shot cup that took place in that year under the name of the POS Esports Masters. And 2022 for Season 3, Rocket League replaced League of Legends as a seasonal game for the POS Esports Masters and has been part of the circuit since then. So still a very, very solid answer, not too bad. I'd give this, actually, we'll say out of 3 points, because we've had 3 questions, a solid 2 out of 3. Because
what did I not answer? Just because you did because a fool's question at the start? No. I correctly answered this.
I am a horrible teacher.
No,
pedantic to heaven and all you want. But still, that's a very solid mark in my book. Of course, nobody can get 3 out of 3. It's impossible. That would be perfect, and nobody is perfect.
I would have some questions for you. But
Ooh.
probably you will not.
Any.
You will not any of them. You will not answer them probably. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I think some of them are just 2 of them are pretty hard to answer, because we did not really see those drafts, and without seeing the draft, it's really actually good.
All right.
It's really difficult. But do you know which champion has the most pick ban presence in our current season 5? So from like all the games, and I'm talking about picks and bans together, like the presence, like in a percent. You know.
I knew that last week. There have been
of
games
course,
since then.
you knew that.
I knew that last week. No, because I had the screen in front of me last week. I don't now. So at least, I'm not cheating. But I think it's still probably Smolder.
It's so good. You actually knew it, totally.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
cool. That's
Didn't
cool.
change.
That's cool. Yeah, it's not actually. And do you know the 2 players who played them? Yeah, just 2. 2 out of our 6 ADCs. Just 2 played them.
And Mace played him quite a lot.
Maze played them, yeah.
And I don't know. That's something I should know, but somehow it doesn't come to mind. I'll exclude Rakuzi already.
Yeah.
I think Dan didn't play him either.
No. Actually, Maze just played him 2 times, so we had 3 games from a different ADC.
3 games from different. I know course. I have no clue. I'll have to.
It's Rampage GG.
It's Rampage. Oh right,
From
yeah.
Sterling.
He had a really good one even. I remember where he got this huge quadra kill at the end of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just one another question. And that's pretty awesome. There is 3 games Tristana, 100% win rate. Do you know the player? Because just one player did Tristana games, and he has 100% win rate after 3 games.
Well, that already eliminates quite a few teams. But is it? Boy. Oh god, I don't remember the name of the player that I have in mind.
Yeah, but which lane and which team maybe?
I think it's mid lane.
Yes.
Royal Family.
No.
No.
It's the mid laner of VACE. It's Vashil. And he played it 3 times and won 3 times. It's pretty awesome actually. As a mid lane player with just Tristana, Syndra, and Akshan games, he doesn't really look like a mid laner with 3 Tristana games, but he just plays them perfectly. So pretty cracked player actually.
Pretty solid indeed. That was a poor quiz performance.
No, I mean those questions are so hard to even. I mean, you need to watch every single game and maybe then hopefully you know it, but it's really hard to answer. So I forgive you.
Well, it's very, very interesting question indeed, and I think it's always interesting to kind of have these stats in case you would like to see those stats for yourself. There is a Leaguepedia page for this League of Legends tournament that has been sent up thanks to some awesome people. Notably Mr. Armand, which does also a wonderful job for Sheep Esports. You should check that out on Twitter if you have time. If you're wondering where we're at, because we're still not in game, it's the same as always. If you've already tuned in, you know what's up with the spectator mode problems. So we're waiting until we can start the game using the replay. If you just tuned in, because I see that we have a bunch of people that tuned in just recently, up to now we showed what's ahead and we did a small recap of what's going on here in the first and second division. If you'd like to have that, I'll give it to you without us having to break a sweat, because we do have a recap video that was also posted on social media ready to show you on stream if you'd like so. If you don't like so, we will still play it off for you, because it's always good to be up to date with what's up in this season.
They should still watch out for our team and they should be prepared.
Well, I'm excited to be part of this, and I hope we get to the stage where we play on the stage and meet very good teams. Hello, I'm Joe, I'm 22, coming from the north of Luxembourg, from Winsela, and I'm mid laner for Team STBL.
I'm Thomas Marcus, coming from Beringen. I'm 22 years old and I am jungle for Team STBL.
I am Ricardo Oliveira Fernandez, I'm from Gilsdorf and I'm the substitute and all-rounder from STBL.
So a friend of ours who already played once with another team proposed to play as our friend group, and as we have a relatively big friend group who plays League of Legends, we sat together and we said, yeah, let's do it, why not try it when we play in our free time. We started with 3 wins. The first loss was against the best team, I think, Snooze Esports. We were pretty good. And the second ones were the second place, Poet Bay. So I think for the first time playing as a team, it was very good. I wouldn't say afraid, because it's always a nice challenge to have someone being better than you, to look up to, and to have a great fight against them, maybe on the stage.
In my opinion, I definitely have to go for our team. And from our team, I would... it's kind of difficult, either Slakers or I would even say Jo.
Oh.
No, you think Rampage, but I think you. Slakers is a very competent jungler, notice it immediately. He has very good shot calling and also has very good fundamentals of the game. With Jo, his ability to adapt to pretty much any situation is what makes him very special and very threatening in our team.
Since we have 2 players from Germany we didn't know for a long time, we just started playing flex queue and had some scrims against other teams, also from Luxembourg, but there wasn't a big preparation for the game. Maybe invest into next year to compete again, get the organization growing bigger, and maybe go to vacation.
When I know that I got completely outclassed by someone else because of my own fault, that I didn't practice enough or that I didn't prepare well enough.
Now for me personally it's losing games that are definitely winnable, or like very long games, like 70, 80 minutes, and then you lose, just feels like a time waste. Well, I'm a very passionate volleyball player. If I had to choose between league and volleyball, I would definitely go for volleyball. Also, the same thing as in league, it's a team game. You have to rely on your teammates. You have to be a strong force, work together to achieve your goals. So.
Well, that was not what I meant, but still very good to see again the interview, in case you missed it, of Stabil, which will be playing a very important match later today against Snooze Esports. Now, let's hope that the right video is on track towards you. Small recap of the season up to now.
Hey Moyenne, comment ça va aujourd'hui? On est déjà à la moitié de la saison League of Legends et j'ai des tonnes de choses à vous raconter. Royal Family et VACE ont de nouveau enchaîné les victoires, et d'ailleurs, le symbole de cette magnifique semaine de VACE, c'est Grealish Borel, qui nous sort un quadra-kill monstrueux. Derrière eux, ça bouge beaucoup au classement. HitmonLi ouvre son compteur de victoires face aux Red Lions, grâce notamment à un backdoor comme on aime en fin de partie. Et du coup, c'est Snooze et STBL qui en profitent pour recoller le haut du tableau. On rappelle l'enjeu, les 3 premières équipes de Division 1 joueront les finales au Luxembourg en juin prochain. A l'inverse, les 5e et 6e remettront en jeu leur place en Division 1 face aux 1er et 2e de la Division 2. Clairement, ce système de promotion-relégation rajoute du piment à cette saison, on adore. D'ailleurs, du côté de la Division 2, c'est Epic Scuttle Bros et Rift Riders qui sont actuellement en tête du classement et donc en position de jouer la montée pour la saison prochaine. Les 3 nominés pour le titre de joueur de la semaine sont Thunder Yordle et Grealish Borel de VACE et Axo de Royal Family. On se donne rendez-vous demain sur Twitch pour découvrir le nom du vainqueur.
Now, you've heard it there. In case you need the translation, 3 nominees for the MVP title from week 2, of course. Those are Axo from Royal Family, Thunder Yordle from VACE, and Grimmigabor from VACE. We will be announcing which one of them won the MVP title later today. And of course, if you think you'd have a say in that, you can always let us know who your pick is from those 3, and you are also most welcome to let us know who you think should be nominated for MVP of this week, after today and after Thursday's games. It's always interesting to see what your opinions are. We of course can only say what we think, because we only know our own opinions. That's how opinions work, unfortunately. Now, one last thing, because we get into the gist of today's menu. We still have the Valorant registrations going on. They will be closing within a few days, so if you maybe would like to play some Valorant competitively or know a bunch of friends who might be interested, definitely let them know to check out the website of the Pulse Esports Masters. Every information should be quite easily findable on there. And yeah, it's always a pleasure to have more teams to compete. So definitely do share that with your friends or yourself. Now, Prasthana, are you ready for the first game of today? Which teams do we have going up against each other on the left side?
I'm always ready. I'm really hyped
Always
to
ready.
see it. And yeah, we have HitmonLi on blue side and VACE on red side. Here are the lineups, of course. LiveMLG, the Dooku, and Yorick Oven and the other guys from the HitmonLi lineup. They're all experienced in this Esports Masters circuit, you could say. And of course, they are one of our full Luxembourgish player team. So that's really cool to see. So it's the home crowd basically.
Yeah, definitely playing on the home turf, and they have been picking up the pace. I think they have been improving since the start of the competition. Seems like they're starting to get the gears kicking, and well, it's important to get them kicking by now because we are heading towards the end of this split now, and they currently still need to get a few wins. They will be going up against VACE Esports, of course, who are currently quite well off in terms of placements. They themselves have two players which were just nominated for last week's MVP, Grimmiger Boral and Thunder Yodel, but the rest of their lineup is of course not to be underestimated, with Vashil on the mid lane, which you've mentioned earlier with that Tristana pick, a Pi on the support position. Here we see their substitute for the AD carry position, KCS King.
Yeah, and of course we didn't see Mace, the real ADC from them out, but he is still there. And it's actually also my surprise team from this whole split, because I didn't thought that they will be that dominant in the start, but I think that's just because we all thought that Snooze is much more dominant, and so they both kinda change places. Snooze some more loses than wins. And Waze actually only losing to Roy Fam, and I believe that if they now even get more momentum in, then maybe they can even try to win against Roy Fam, because they got stronger each week. And who knows, I mean they lost in week 1 on day 1, so with this momentum now for them, they might have even a chance to challenge them. And I could think that could be actually a pretty interesting matchup.
And I think this is always the kind of dynamic that you have. If you have one team that is really, really strong, like we have with Royal Family, there's always this thing of they cannot really measure themselves to better enemies. In that sense, they kind of stagnate. While other teams, they have this goal of we want to beat them, clearly beat them, and you can work towards something, get better over the course of the weekend. I can only agree with what you said, that they definitely got better as well since the start of the competition. They will be going up against the bottom team of the ladder currently, HitmonLi. Let's see how this underdog in this matchup will fare against second of the leaderboards, VACE Esports, as we head towards game 1 of tonight. Here we are.
We are in game, finally. Yeah, I'm sorry. There was just some relief in my voice. I wanted to say it out loud.
To say it out loud. Well, there we are. Game 1 of day 1 of week 3 here at the PostTV Masters Season 5. HitmonLi on the blue side going up against VACE Esports on the red side. The chat did speak in a vote. We have 73% in favor of VACE Esports winning, with 27% in favor of HitmonLi winning. Seems like very like expected odds considering the current leaderboards.
Yeah, definitely. I think VACE goes into it with a pretty good feeling. Of course, they already won the first game between those two teams, so they want to repeat that. And just to mention quickly the draft, because we didn't see it, I just want to go through it a little bit. We had Maokai first pick for HitmonLi into Lucian Melio, a pretty strong bot lane combination. Smola, of course, was banned against Mace. Then we had Senna, Nautilus, so a decent rotation against Melio, hook champion and stuff, and lots of scaling into Nocturne for Grimmiger Boral. Then Karma in the second rotation for red side R4, and then into Yone and Corki, into Poppy last pick, which is a pretty okayish counter to Yone. So that's basically the draft. Yeah, hopefully we'll see both teams. I think we have two pretty decent team comps actually.
I have to say I really like what HitmonLi's got going for them here. They can really kind of take their time in this game, as long as they don't let VACE get too much momentum in the early game, which is really nice, and they should have very good odds still in this game then.
Yeah, definitely. I really like what they drafted here as well, because it's just lots of scaling. They have a strong side lane. They have a really decent scanning through their put. So both ADCs and then a pretty good front line with 2 tanks. So it's definitely great to see that they kind of drafted scaling and maybe want to go into this game a little bit slower than usual, because they had some pretty aggressive drafts with Akali and Irelia mid lane and Yone mid lane, with tons of those aggressive mid lane 8 champions, and no PlateMyG sits on a Corki, which is definitely a different playstyle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think going into a matchup as the clear underdog, because this is obviously the case here for HitmonLi, going for this kind of comp is definitely the wise choice, because I think, in my personal opinion, in my experience watching games, usually they are easier to execute than something like what VACE has got going, because they need to early set quite a lot of pace. Here we have the first encounter, Sedokl is able to secure his own blue buff, getting a leash of Grimmick, so to say.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool to see that Sedokl swaps with Lublu sometimes, because sometimes he goes jungle, sometimes he goes ADC, and Lubu also sometimes goes ADC or jungle. For example, Sedokl played 3 ADC games and 2 jungle games, and now it's his 3rd jungle game. So really flexible players who can play either lane, depending probably on the matchups. So it's a cool idea to see them swapping the lane sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely, always quite interesting to see. Oh, Maniac being set up here by Sedokl, who's waiting in the bush. Thunderyodel does not seem to have anything in mind in that regard. Here he comes. Thunderyodel getting some damage in from Yorick Owens, but he's going to be pulled back by the E soon. The root does go through. Gimmick a Brawl just around the corner, also comes in. And I think with that situation might be diffused. The stun does hit. Hook. The knock-up does it. Flash out from Sedokl. They go towards the turret. They go for the tower dive. This could go south. First blood does go to VACE Esports, but he dies at the hands of the turrets. Vashil comes in just in time in order to save Thunderyodel and pick up himself the kill on Yorick Owens.
It was really aggressively played by VACE with this tower dive. I didn't really believe that they can kill someone there, but in the end they got one, and then Yorick Owens kind of overstayed, even though he knew that Vashil is on his way. And we even have a replay brought by Galaxy, Samsung Galaxy, of course, with this overstatement from Yorick Owens. Really good roam there from Vashil. And PlateMyG came a little bit too late, but in the end it's still a 1 for 2. And especially a kill on Yone definitely helps him to dominate the sideline.
Yeah, could always be useful, and I still think it was a very good move from VACE. It's definitely what they want to be doing in this early game. They want to start setting a quick pace. They also really take that Drake really early. Yeah, they don't want to leave the breathing room to HitmonLi for them to get into the game with their late game comp here.
Yeah, and they need to play that aggressively. I mean, Lucian Milio, which is an aggressive bot lane, and a jungler who definitely wants those ganks happening over and over again, especially later with the paranoia. And then Karma, who is a pretty aggressive laner actually, tons of poke. And Poppy is more like the weak-siding champion here, but of course she's great to kill Yone with a stun, with the W, just to stop him from dashing. So she's always a good ganking partner for someone like Nocturne.
Ooh. Was to use his ultimate to get out of a tight situation here on the top side.
Yeah,
You have to
by
smooth
Vashil.
him out.
That was crazy good. I mean, he just forced off the ultimate, right? And now with this top lane trio, they start the crops, but there's Yone.
So just around the corner, Yone also there to get some damage out, and PlateMyG also comes in. Now we have Vashil behind him, but he is still alone. Gets caught, quite a lot of damage falling onto him. HitmonLi decides to not go for the fight. One Void Grub for each side as Zodokal now moves towards third one and should be able to secure it without too many issues.
Yeah, they secure in the end both white crabs here, HitmonLi. Losing some creeps on the top lane because of the prio from Thunderjordel. And it was a 3v3, so both sides could have went for a little bit more fighting. But in the end, it's just not worth to risk something just for a Void Crab. So they both just secure one. And then in the end, HitmonLi even get another. So well played by them. Especially by BlackMyG, which just came in as help.
Top lane York Owens barely surviving the situation here against Thunderjordel. A rough one. Having a bit of a rough time against the Poppy player. Already got the steel caps.
Yeah, it actually is going for a crazy item, but with the tier. So there are some crazy Poppy builds, and that's more of the crazy types. While normally there's sometimes there is Standard Sky or the Sunfire Rush or even the Iceborne Gauntlet. But with this tier, and now with Pickaxe, I mean, is he building Muramana or something? That's really a crazy way to build. And I'm a Poppy OTP, and that's maybe the first Muramana Poppy I see so far. So Thunderjordel definitely is up onto something, and he almost solo killed Yorick Owen there. I believe that the ultimate from Poppy got dodged by the W of Yorick Owen, but with this damage he could have killed him. So in the end, it was a good try by Thunderjordel. And yeah, he has some pressure there on the top lane with this first kill for him.
Yeah, it definitely puts him in a very good position. You're going. You can already see in the playstyle he's having a bit of a rough time finding purchase. There is also quite solid CS lead in the hands of Thunderjordel. Actually, almost everywhere except for the mid lane for VACE Esports, there is quite a bit of a discrepancy going on in their favor.
And this, some good poke from both sides. Every time the buckler is up, Poppy can just go for the auto attack poke, and then of course we're going on this Yon can just always press W, jump in, do some auto attacks, jump out. So it's pretty annoying to play against Yon, but in the end, Poppy does a great job. Even has 20 CS lead at the moment, which are 3 waves actually. So Thunderjordel did a great job at the moment on this top lane. And that's all just because of a really good counter gank by Kriminger Borel in the early game. And then, of course, this top lane prio while Yorick Owen lost a lot of CS. So, yeah, it's the CS lead because Thunderjordel pushed in and Yorick Owen tried to secure those Void Crabs.
And since then, not too much action going on in this game. We've had HitmonLi shoving in the bot lane, then going for a move. MZ decides to go for it, that charge, but nothing does come out of those two ability exchanges. With junglers just around the corner here on the bot side, as Drake comes back in to the Summoner's Rifts.
Oh, Poppy was looking for a dive. I could saw it in her eyes. Yeah, I believe that bot lane played it a little bit too aggressively with the Nautilus ultimate. I think they saw Kriminger Borel and just didn't want to play a 3v3.
Yeah. Because now we have the culling coming in from Maze. Might get rooted here, however. Needs to fall back a bit. As HitmonLi started in, the package comes in. They are able to get some CC on up high. That's one member down of VACE Esports. 4v2 is a bit too risky. HitmonLi does go towards Drake. Reinitiated. Vashil coming in from the mid lane, probably to get some poke in. Now to find an angle. Paranoia should be up. Does go in. Kriminger goes on to the enemy, who is able to flash into the pit. Gets a lot of damage in hindsight because we have the TPs coming in from the top laners. Now it's a 5v3 situation for HitmonLi. Mace goes back in onto Ognadog Noom. They are able to kill the Nautilus. They are able to push away Sedokel with the hammer. And now kill Lubu, who was alone in the pit as BliveMaG was forced to back away. Sedokel goes back in, is able to smite the Drake, but has to be careful. He is now alone in the pit against 3 people. Flashes away. Maze goes in and dies at the hands of Yorick Owens, who was waiting for him here. That's good move from HitmonLi. It goes on. Van der Jodel comes back in now with the flashes, able to pick up the kill on BliveMaG. Yorick Owens should be able to get away here, especially with that flash. But overall, what a chaos.
Yeah, and that was just... Oh no, Van der Jodel was pretty dead.
Stayed a bit too long here. Is gonna give another kill to HitmonLi. Is able to pick up a kill himself on Sedokel. So it's not dramatic, but still shut down to... Okay, shut down to Lubu. That's a bit rough.
Yeah, it's not dramatic, but you don't need to die there. So it was just another free kill for Van der Jodel, because he is pretty much dead. So Luku could have just went out. But in the end, dies. And I think that there was just a little bit less communication there by VACE, because Mace dashed over the wall, but Van der Jodel and Vashil actually both had flash, so I believe if they want, they could just all go over the wall. In this case, Mace doesn't have to die, and then they can just run them down as free.
Yep. Small catch here on the pie.
Yeah, was a good one. That's a big problem for Milio. Those hook champions, usually it's Blitzcrank who is the biggest problem for him. Oh, she goes for the soda bottle.
Goes for the soda bottle on to Yorick Owens, who will not have many chances of getting away. Sedokel just around the corner is able to defuse the situation. Van der Jodel on this Eclipse build on the Poppy, going 3-1-3, playing super aggressive on the top lane, seems to be having quite a fun time, to be fair.
Yeah, so in the end it's not the Muramana, it's the Eclipse, which is even more crazier, I would think so, but there's the replay again by Samsung Galaxy, and first the hook misses, and then the fight looks really good for HitmonLi, because of the package. They immediately get Arpai down, and now it's a 4-3-3, but then both teleports come in, and then they kinda get a good fight there against Criminal Burrell. Now it's a 5-3-3, but in the end they kinda overstay here against them, then with with a good front line, with a support, and of course with Mace's damage they can fight them back. And here in the end Mace gets a little bit creep, but all of them have flash, so they can just all jump over the wall, but they decide to no, just Mace dashing over it, dying, and then Van der Jodel flashes pretty late.
Yeah, now on the bot lane, bit of a situation. That charge on to Maze. Arpai forced using the ult ultimate. They are able to get away with all the CC here. HitmonLi doesn't fight proper purchase. I want to add on this dragon fight before, because you mentioned that they seem to not have communications. Perfect. Ooh, tight situation here for Eurogons. Perfect communication there, but it seems like at first HitmonLi wasn't too sure as well. You had some people looking for the angles on the enemies and some people onto the Drake. And it seems like they weren't too sure what do we do as a team here, and I think that cost them quite a bit in that team fight though.
Yeah. And now with 3 Void Crux for VACE, they actually got the next objective done, and Poppy probably gets first turrets top lane. So at the moment this counter pick, we remember Poppy was last pick red side R5, and of course Yone got blind picked on blue 5 or something. So this Poppy pick just works out for them really good. And now even a little invade against this blue buff. Did they steal it? No, they. I don't think so, because the Vashil got blue buff. Yeah. So all of them got blue buff, or now Vashil got blue buff? I don't know. Anyway. I don't know who got it.
I didn't quite see either, but in any case it's...
Oh no,
yeah,
they got it,
VACE
because
got it,
Vashil now could take it. Yeah. Just a quick thing about the Poppy item build, because I love Poppy. She goes now for this Frimble winter item, whatever, where she gets shields, and with Eclipse she gets more shields. So it's kind of like the self-shielding Poppy build, you could say, always just getting shields and more shields, then the passive shield, of course, then the shield from Arpai, then the shield from Karma, so tons of shields for the Poppy.
Ooh, hook on to Arpai with quite a lot of damage already falling on to him. Now Cynical shows up with Nature's Grasp to get some CC on the enemy AD carry. They are able to pick up Arpai. Paranoia coming in on to Life Magi here is forced to flash away in the middle of VACE, is gonna die at their hands, and things are looking up for VACE as they are 3v2, 3v1. Yorick Owens does a last stand with his ultimate, but dies ultimately at the hands of Grimmigaboral with a double kill, and with that VACE picks up the second drag of this game.
Yeah, and that could have even be an ace, but Nautilus just respawns too quickly, so in the end, still 5 kills to, I believe, 2 or 3, and it was a pretty good team fight here by VACE. 5-1 was a little bit too deep with the package, so they kinda got a good engage at first because of the package, but then they just kinda overstayed their in the end, and Yorick Oven in the 1v3 couldn't really kill someone. He isn't really good in game right now, so it was just well played by VACE. And now with 2 Drakes, with the Herald, with 4 Krabs, they got a lot on this map.
Yeah, getting 2 runs to the turret with the Herald, quite good, and I think they pick up this tier 2 on the mid lane, opening up the map quite a lot. Objective bounties, which have jumped in for HitmonLi, who are now 6k gold behind VACE, setting the pace, currently in a rather comfortable spot.
Yeah, and here's the replay on bot lane again. Like I said, kind of begins with a good team fight by HitmonLi, especially because they are fighting in the choke, and it's pretty awesome for them. There comes the package, but now he is pretty deep in the territory, get instantly ulted by the Paranoia and needs to flash out, but in the end just dies, and then this team fight just snowballs out of control. All those shields, especially from Karma, just heal them tons, and in the end Poppy is just way to tank it. There's Paranoia again.
I was gonna say, we jump right back into a fight situation. It's more of a pick from Grimmigaboral onto Blythman G.
Yeah, and with that, this top side, Underyorder and Grimmigaboral just look insanely strong, and they are just undying because of their shields, and now he might get engaged. Oh, he's too fast.
Vashel dealing a lot of damage onto Lubu. Still has to be careful though, because 1v2 is always dangerous, but did you see the damage of that Mantrad Q? Holy.
Yeah, he is really strong. The tier now is stacked, by the way, for Poppy, so we will see more shields. And it's this front line, especially Grimmigaboral, really strong right now. It's just way too strong with both shield supports, so they can always go for fights. They never die because they have 2 bruisers and 2 supports, and then Mace just following up with the culling, for example, from a lot of range. So those team fights get really tough for HitmonLi right now, because they want the scaling, but they cannot scale against all those objects.
Yeah, and while VACE did go for the Baron, HitmonLi seems to suss that out. No fight is engaged here, just have the ultimate of Mace being thrown out. Nothing much more of it.
And they just started to check if they maybe become a teleport or something, but in the end HitmonLi played it cool. The re-engage wasn't enough, and with that HitmonLi just secured themselves some more minutes to scale with their champions. I mean, we already see 2 items for Corki, which is a good kind of power spike, of course. His tier still needs to stack a little bit, but after that he has plenty of damage, actually, Blythman. And of course Senna with probably a lot of souls, even though she's not playing fasting Senna. And now again VACE on this Baron. At least they try to secure the vision around it.
Yeah, they do keep kind of this position here around it. Try to lull maybe HitmonLi into taking a fight they cannot win, but HitmonLi is still very careful. They don't overcommit to anything, they just make sure that VACE isn't taking a free Baron here, which they're doing really well.
Yeah, but this Corki is scaling really well, and especially with the package, they can definitely try to win those team fights in those choke points with the Malphite ultimate, with the Nautilus ult, etc. They have just plenty of mock-ups in really close corridors, so if they get some of them, then they might even win the team fight. So they just need to chill right now and just to secure more and more of those camps and CS to hopefully get a team fight where all of them have 2 items. Like right now, if you watch the inventories, just Yorick Oven, maybe with this recall now, gets the 2nd item, but I don't think so. But then they still have 2 items on Maokai, 2 on Corki, and of course 2 on Senna. And if we compare that to VACE, they all just have 2 items as well. So at the moment it could be an even team fight if they want to pick it up. But I don't believe that they have the vision for that at the moment. You can see that Kremige started it up, and HitmonLi is not really in a position to fight it right now.
But they do suss it out. VACE now concentrating around it. Sedoku here is being found out by this Oracle, and decides to just go for a camp, which is definitely the right choice. It's the 3rd Drake, it's soul point for VACE. Esports, next one is the one that really matters.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, we had a catch here. 1v1, Yorick Owens dies at the hands of Thunder Yodel.
Yeah, just watch his Thunder Yodel health. He is for life. He basically killed Yorick Owen without losing health. And that's because of his 2 items, which constantly shield him. And of course, Yorick Owen isn't really at any points to even trade him or kill him, so it's just losing at the moment. But that he is not even losing damage, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is quite crazy. Plus he's got the Bramble Blast now. Makes it even more annoying for Yorick Owens to simply attack him. VACE decides to go for the Baron, does pick up the Baron. Very good flash here from Sedokul to avoid the paranoia, but it's still a 5v4 with Baron up for VACE, and they can just decide to go for that push on the top lane. 3 people sieging the turret. On the bot lane you still have Vashil, who just pushes the wave in and is overall a threat, because you know the problem here with Vashil really is that they cannot find proper purchase. Maybe now with Volta's ultimate, but very nice flash does let him avoid the Fate Sealed. They had to send 2 people bot, which means that they cannot properly defend the other lanes. They get nice purchase on Mace. Maybe now with the package they get guided onto him. LifeMalG does the damage, flash over the minions, is able to pick up the kill onto the Lucian player of VACE, while Thunder Yodel goes easy 1v2 against Lubu and Ogakto Gloom. We have Yorick Owens on the bot lane, is able to finally kill Vashil, turn the tides in that matchup. Things are looking dire with those shields of the Poppy. Just huge shields indeed, as you've mentioned. Is able to maybe kill the Nautilus. No, it's not enough. Flashes, gets him against the wall. And he just isn't killable here. Gets hooked under the turret. This is it. Shut down for HitmonLi, as they are able to stop this push from VACE. Now, we had a push opportunity from Yorick Owens here on the bot lane, but Kremige is going to join in with the paranoia. That is quite okay. Still 4 kills for HitmonLi, and they stopped this huge push.
Yeah, and they need a Serpent's Fang against this Poppy. They need just anti-shield. Something. I mean, not even against Poppy, but against Karma shields and Milius shields. So 1 Serpent's Fang could really do tons of damage against this team comp. And I mean, they still did not lose an inhibitor, so with that they have time to scale up, right? And in this replay we of course see the catch against Mace, which was really good by LifeMalG, but then this Poppy 2v1 just, and again all of those shields, and you see it in the inventory, those cooldowns, and then she just gets the shield again, and then the next shield because of the Frimble, and then the next shield, and again a shield, and again a shield, and she's just undying. And that's pretty crazy to see, actually. In the end, really good played by Ogmund, by
Not Ognu.
Ognu to then turn away and the killer and the turret to kill her, but still well played. 500 YOLO.
Yes, indeed. VACE picks up mid lane inhib, so in the end they do get one during the brawl with. In the meantime, they push in the bot lane with his Baron. It's a 5v5 situation here at the inhib turret of HitmonLi on the bot lane. The siege keeps on going, and that's what's so annoying with Vashil on this Karma. He can keep you so far away just by throwing Qs here and there. And it must be so frustrating to defend against him, and in the meantime VACE can just slowly but surely siege. Here we have Nature's Grasp being thrown at the hook onto Grimmick. Paranoia dropped in. Yorgoins is able to get back to safety thanks to his A. And he just stopped the team fight in the end with this Paranoia.
Yeah, but still they have tons of shields. I mean, you can see that Seluku and BlifeMG are pretty low on health, and at the moment Yorick Owen is even defending top lane, mid lane. While nobody really is in danger because of all those shields. Oh, try the
hook. Thunderjol does not pin on that against the wall. Some CC and Vashil gets it with the Mantra Q. Oh, Lubu is able to get away very closely, but now everybody is forced to get away from the turret, and VACE just takes this turret without any issue. Going up at their second inhibitor now on the bot lane. Sedokal has to be careful. Flashes away, survives luckily. Very low on life. HitmonLi with 4 men standing are on their back foot here, but VACE is starting to get low on resources, but they got what they wanted. They got this inhib on bot lane. They can fall back, go towards this 4th Drake to get the soul. BlifeMG might, no, does not kill a pie. And yeah.
Was a good try. Oh! Oh no, Mace.
I feel like this was done on purpose.
Yeah, probably. And just one... Oh, that's
yeah, very nice with the W dodges. The hammer as HitmonLi goes to contest the Drake. Sedokal is gonna die, however, at the hands of Vashil. They're not able to steal the Drake, albeit their attempt with BlifeMG right behind the pit. That is quite unfortunate.
And do you know what stacking those dragons does to all of them?
Yes,
what
but I don't think we should mention it. People are already desperate enough here.
Yeah, but just healing and shielding gets better by every single Chemtech trait, right? So those poppy shields just got 18% stronger just by taking down Drakes. And the funny thing, and you can see it in the inventory, she bought like this Negatron cloak, right?
Yeah.
But I believe if she just went for Spirit Visage with more shielding, I think she's undying. Yeah, probably undying anyway, but it's just funny that all of the circumstances helped her with the item build. And at the moment we don't have any penetration yet. Senna tries to build it, but yeah, probably will not die in any of those team fights.
Yeah, and I think building it now, it still looks very grim. We have to root out here because HitmonLi are at their last stand here. CC goes in. Yorgoins onto Vashil while the rest of his team can take care of VACE Esports. He does get the shutdown on the Karma play. This is looking really good for HitmonLi. Careful, BlifeMG forced to go back in. Grimmick in the middle of the enemy team is going to be shut down by Lubu as he paranoid item. They do get the kill onto Thunderjol, and they are able to push them back with a beautiful team fight.
And Yorick Oven just smurfed this teamfight by killing Vashil on the side lane, and then they just got some really good knockups there. Oh no, Mace.
Going, Sedokal on to Mace here. Lubu's W does not find purchase, but that is just around the corner. Maybe a good hook could seal the deal here as VACE Esports is forced to kind of try and get away. Sedokal did go around. BlifeMG goes in. No, they are not finding purchase here. BlifeMG is forced away because Mace's damage is still not to be underestimated, but maybe he overstepped a bit here as he dies at the hands of the Corki player. However, Vashil TP'd in the back line. does come in for revenge, is hooked in here, but will take the kill onto the Nautilus player. Careful, Sedoko, triple kill for Vashul as Yorikoans came in with the TP, but Thunder Yodel just around the corner. This is a 3v2 for VACE. HitmonLi has to be careful. Will we see maybe a panic from Vashul? No, it is. Look at this shield. It's horrible. It's terrible. Apai picks up the kill on the enemy support, and now Grimmigaborl comes in with the paranoia, and that's an ace for VACE Esports as they are about to, I think, take the win here with a wave coming in from the bot lane, with a wave coming in from the top lane. First Nexus turret just about to go down. Second turret is not gonna be there for long, and now it's the Nexus that's gonna fall at the hands of VACE Esports.
Well played, VACE Esports. Just a really decent victory by them. They needed 31 or 42 minutes for that, but in the end, they just clutched it out. They got 3 inhibs and then just tried to escape, and then the overstay by HitmonLi just cost them the game in the end. It was a good chase down, but then with all those teleports, it just took too much time. I believe after the 3 kills, they could have just defended the base and maybe scaled a little bit more. But they wanted those kills, they wanted the Baron, and then Bashir with a triple kill just sealed the deal in the end.
Yep.
What a game!
Definitely a very good game, and I have to say, I still really like what we saw from HitmonLi here, because I mean, it wasn't a stellar game in the end, but they still did really well. They had those comeback moments here at the end. They got this situation where they had the chase going on, and in the end, you have to give it to them. The odds were just stacked against them, because you had VACE that went for this team comp, or we will build a bunch of shields, and lo and behold, we get a Camtech soul. Like, just, oh, couldn't it be any more perfect? It just makes our comp that much stronger once again, and still HitmonLi was still able to put a dent into their strong attack. So I think we got to give them quite a few props for that.
Yeah, and I really liked this other type of playstyle by VACE, because normally they had those scaling ADCs with Smolder, with Varus, and then like those aggressive mid lane picks. And this time they had the Karma, they had like Illusion, and of course just a frontline tank by Thunder Yodel, who played those cannons and those rumbles normally. So they kind of showed us a new playstyle, and I think that's really important, especially if they want to tackle Rolf Ham, of course, on the top. If they want to beat them, then they need some different playstyles and just some flexibility to maybe take them down.
Absolutely. It is the opportunity to try out new things in order to maybe step up your game against the current leaders of the leaderboards, which, by the way, we will be seeing for the next match very soon. Before we get to that, of course, we will head into a break in order for us to catch a breather and for us